Yo, 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 it's your boy Angelo Savage, man. We got an interview here. This is what y'all probably didn't even understand. Michelle Obama, she's at it again. She got a brand new interview. Now she got one with Taraji P. Henson. Now I wanted to just see this interview and see what was going on because now she's bringing on more and more black women, which I anticipated because at first everybody was down in the podcast, which of course it didn't have no views, it didn't have no subscribers like that. It wasn't doing nothing. But it's Michelle Obama. You know, she's supposed to be the voice of the black women. So I'm expecting that, of course, the black woman gonna come through, slide through, make sure that her podcast is up in atoms. So of course that's what they're doing. If you don't know, I just posted a video about Tracy Alice Ross. She just did a video about her liking younger guys with Michelle Obama. So I ain't gonna lie, she doing real good right now. She's doing good interviews. In a way, we're getting a lot of content. So now we got a Taraji P. Henson. So I got a certain clip on here that is I know is about to start trending. So I got on it immediately. So this is basically explaining her mental health when it comes to therapy and her being in the White House for 8 years and why she did not go to the inauguration. Now, I'm going to just play the clip. Y'all tell me what y'all think.
And at 60, I had to convince myself that I had done enough. After all that I had done in the world, I still felt a guilt, right? Struggling with like deep guilt that maybe I needed to do a little bit more. So I'm at this stage in life where I have to define my life on my terms for the first time. So what are those terms? And going to therapy just to work all that out. Like, what happened that 8 years that we were in the White House? What did that do to me?
Yes.
Internally, my soul, we made it through. We got out alive. I hope we made the country proud. My girls, thank God, are whole. But what happened to me?
Right.
Right?
Right.
And going through therapy, is getting me to look at the fact that maybe finally I'm good enough, right? And unlearning some of those messages that I've been saying to myself, and then trying to actively practice something different to rewire those neurons in my head that make me keep pushing and keep striving. And so practicing no in a very different way.
Can I pause this real quick? The reason why I'm pausing because she's kind of confused me in a way that basically her going to therapy, she needs therapy because of the 8 years she was in office. I understand that it could be stressful for the woman, the first lady, and not only that, the first black lady to be there. But the person that was really getting the most stress was the president, the black president, the one they wanted to kill, the ones they wanted to harm, the one that had to run and do speeches, run the country, shake hands, you know what I'm saying, go to different countries. I would think, I'm not taking nothing from Michelle. Yes, Michelle, I think that you also had stress in that time. But I will say also at that time, you were able to kick your feet up as much as anyone else could in the whole world. You were probably living better than any woman, definitely black woman, in the whole country. Even though you were the first lady of the United States of America, first black lady of the United States of America. So, and I'm not disagreeing with therapy, but therapy has a way of you kind of getting into your own head and thinking that your situation was worse and could have been better at the time, even though you had the best end of the stick. All right, let me continue this.
Intentionally. But then this is what makes it hard because, my decision to skip the inauguration, what people don't realize, or my decision to make choices at the beginning of this year that suited me were met with such ridicule and criticism. Like, people couldn't believe that I was saying no for any other reason, that they had to assume that my marriage was falling apart.
Right.
It's like,
Pause. How is that funny? That's exactly what it looks like, right? If you're the first black first lady and the first black president is at the inauguration to be there with somebody he don't even personally like, and his lady, his wife, which is supposed to be head honcho, top black couple next to Jay-Z and Beyonce, probably above Jay-Z and Beyonce, better than MLK and Coretta. You know what I'm saying? The Obamas, Michelle and Obama, Barack. Like, y'all supposed to be prime relationship, right? So for her to say basically no to the inauguration, your husband was there. And this is the part that got me a little bit, because in her way, this is like a selfish way of thinking. Because people, I was looking at a different interview on the Breakfast Club, and they were saying, well, she's saying no because she wants to say no. This is her year to say no. This is your year to say no. So you're not going to pay respect for the people that was before us? Jimmy Carter, you didn't go to Jimmy Carter's funeral because it was just your year to say no. You didn't go to Trump's inauguration because it was just your year to say no. It had nothing to do with you not liking the guy. And then it came with backlash of they're saying that you and Barack had a fallout because he went. See, it would be different if Barack and Michelle didn't go, but Michelle decided not to go. Why wouldn't we say as the internet that your relationship, your marriage is in shambles? I would only assume. Why is your man the first black? I gotta insinuate black because that's what they ran on. They ran on the first black. My president is black. My Lambo is blue. I be goddamn if my rims ain't too. You hear me? Like, and I like Michelle, but I think what's happening now that she has nothing to do. She has a lot of money, nothing to do. Secret Service. She's starting to become an ingrate. And then she's kind of blaming Obama for the success that he achieved to her. Right? So now she's mad. She's saying no. It's out of respect. It's a respect thing. You're supposed to be on, regardless if you don't like Trump, Jimmy Carter, it don't matter. Everybody else's wife was there, but you, the black woman, the full black woman. We're not talking about Kamala Harris here. And Kamala Harris damn near had to be there, right? She was just the vice president of the last term. But for Michelle not to be there on the side of her husband, it only looks bad. Why as the media wouldn't I think that your relationship is bad? And then not only did you skip one important thing, 10 days later you skipped the inauguration. That's horrible. But then she sits here and act like, oh, well, it's just this is my year. She's not even blaming it on mental health. She's blaming it on this is her year to say no. She had enough. This is her year to say no. So you say no to standing next to your man that achieved beyond greatness. This is what MLK wanted beyond just being together. It hasn't even been for 60, 80 years later, and we have a black president in office, and you happen to be in the second best position in the country. The second best position in the country. The first black first lady. And you're having a problem with it? But your husband's sitting there chilling. He's like, well, this is what the job is. And this is what I had about this, because I remember when I initially made my first interview about the Michelle Obama's podcast, I didn't like that Michelle, when she first started her podcast, she was ousting basically Barack, a brother. Like, she's basically saying, I didn't want him to run. Now, for those that don't know, in her first podcast on this, on her new podcast on YouTube, she mentioned that Barack had to convince her brother to convince her so he can run. He wanted to become the first black president of the United States of America and create history. 2008. She didn't want him to do that. She tried to stop him from growing. She did not want him to reach peak. She did not want to be the best. She obviously didn't have this vision in her head. She didn't want to be a part of that. So Barack, as a smart individual that he is, he went to her brother, someone she actually listens to. Imagine that. You marry a woman, give her everything, you become prestige level, get up high ranks, and you decide to run for the president of the United States of America. Something that you know that is never happened ever. You're achieving something that never happened in the world, and you ask your wife, can you run this with me? I want to do something that MLK thought we should do in the future. Can you be my Coretta? No, no, no. I don't. I'd rather not. Hey, brother, I really want to run for president. Can you convince your sister to allow me to run for president? Okay. Hey, sis, he really wanted. I know he has a chance. Please do it, please. Okay, since you asked me, since the brother asked, she can go, huh? This is the problem with a lot of black women. I hate to say this because I'm part of this community. I'm part of this community, and you see that, like, and I'm glad this podcast is out because it's exposing Michelle. And I like that it's exposing her now because she was silent the whole time pretty much, and she didn't do too much. And what she did say, she was pro women, pro black women, but now you can tell a lot about a person when you allow them to talk. And right now, Michelle Obama, she's freely speaking. And I like that because we get to actually see what's going on. They're not in the shadows no more. Barack is still in the shadows. He says what he needs to say when he needs to say it. She comes and she's spilling the beans. Now we're going to know all the dirt. We're going to know how she thought, what's the mindset, because she needs ratings. In order to get ratings, what does she needs to do? She needs to spill the beans, what's going on. Her first episode, she talked about Barack, how she didn't want him to become president. So you telling me this guy took you along for greatness and you didn't want greatness out of him, but he got greatness done regardless. And then you're mad at him about it because you had to suffer for 8 years. Now you get permanent Secret Service for the rest of your life. Don't have to work for the rest of your life. Oh, you know what? You know what Michelle reminds me of? The new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air show. Aunt Viv. Aunt Viv cheated in the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Aunt Viv cheated on Uncle Phil because Uncle Phil paved the way for her not to work again. Do that make sense to you? That's exactly what happened. She resented, Aunt Viv resented Uncle Phil in the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all because he paved the way for her so she can be a stay-at-home mother and raise her kids just like she said that she wanted. Then when she ended up cheating on Uncle Phil, she talking about, you didn't let me work. Bitch, what? You said you ain't want to work. So I paved the way so you ain't got to work. Now you telling me you resent me for helping you and making you, that's the problem. We're letting women make decisions and they don't even know what they want. Then years later, they cheat on you anyway. Divorce should take all the money because they're lonely and they want to find themselves. Michelle Obama's like a 62-year-old woman. She's in her 60s talking like this. This is crazy. Now back to the conversation at hand. She did not want to go to inauguration because this is just her year to say no. You're telling me, let me make this very simple, man. Let me make this very simple. You're telling me, let me straighten this out. So Michelle, you're telling me that you said no due to the fact only because this is your year to say no, nothing else. You had therapy sessions like me, yourself. You want to be yourself. And you probably started this because your mother died originally. And that's okay. You probably need therapy, right? But to not stand by your husband that's been there your whole time has paved the way for you to have greatness, unlimited hairstyles, unlimited ways to live, protection for you and your kids forever. And now that your kids are grown and you're getting older, now you wish that he never became the president so you can live more free. To do what? A hot girl summer? You old as hell. And even 15 years ago, you was old as hell. You wouldn't have been out there. Girl, you from O Block. He saved you. What is you talking about, Michelle? You from O Block. Obama saved you for real. But this is the community. Y'all, we look at Michelle, and Michelle, she's still well spoken. I still respect her as a woman. I respect her because she is the wife of Barack Obama. I respect her because she's the first black first lady. That's why I respect her. And if she was not that, I wouldn't, because she's speaking just like all the other single women that want to out here and want to party. You get what I'm saying? Y'all got to listen to these interviews. Go back to Tracy House interview. You're going to see what she's really saying. Yeah, I like the young ones too. She start hinting shit. You can tell. In this interview, this is supposed to be a Taraji P. Henson interview, by the way. Guess who's talking the most? Michelle Obama. I'm believing that Michelle Obama created this YouTube channel just so she can talk and spill her own guts out, like her own therapy session. She's just bringing the guests on to bring up conversation so then she can spill her own beings. If you look at this conversation, it's mostly Michelle talking. And then back to that conversation, she didn't want to go to the inauguration or Jimmy Carter. This is Jimmy Carter. This is U.S. history. You didn't want to pop up because you just know, even though you also said in this conversation, this clip, that you're always prepared for anything, funerals, weddings, anything that's emergency, you have clothes for it. You said you purposely got rid of the clothes so you wouldn't have it ready. So there's an excuse in your head, even though you're prepped and ready to go. All you had to do is go there and shut the hell up. You didn't have to say a word. You bam there didn't have to. Nobody talked to Jimmy Carter's funeral. Only Barack and Trump. That was it. Other than that, no one said nothing to no one. It was quiet. You didn't have to say a word. You just go in there, stand by your husband. It doesn't matter if y'all divorced. You stand by your husband because he made you the first black first lady. This is a life sentence. You must stand by him. Not saying it's a bad thing. It ain't like he's abusing you, but you must stand by him because you know what? It's bigger than you, Michelle. You must stand by him because he's a black man and you're a black woman. You tell me why all the other white women and white men presidents, former presidents' wives are sitting by their side. They're not complaining, not saying a word. They're chilling. But why does the black woman have to come and be the disruptor of the group? Why does she not have to stand by her man? All because she wanted to say no? I doubt Barack Obama was okay with this decision when she did that. But he said, you know what? Regardless of what you want to do, I must go because I am actually the former president. It would look horrible that I don't go and you don't go. I am actually the former vice president. Every other former first lady will be there. You need to be there by my side or this is going to look bad on me. And it did. It looked sad. When I seen Barack Obama, he from where I'm from, bro. Look it. We from the city, bro. We from the rack. They from where I'm from. So it's expected. I'm not gonna lie. This is some Chicago black women behavior. Not all black women are like this, or eventually they will be, because look at the age group. She wasn't like this while getting all this good stuff going on with the presidency. Now, 15 years, 10 years down the range, now she's talking about she regretted all. She wished she would have lived her life free. What is you talking about, bro? This is your man. Your man wanted to achieve greatness. He didn't want to be a senator no more, bro. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to go and reach the top. He wanted to go higher. And you're telling me you didn't just want to do it, so you just wanted. So since you didn't want him, since you didn't want to be the first black first lady, this is a big achievement. I was telling people, being the first president of the United States of America and being the first black first lady is more important than fucking MLK, bro, and Coretta, bro. Argue with me about that. Being the first black president and being the first black first lady is more important than Martin Luther King Jr., bro. Guaranteed. You made history. This history will be achieved forever. This is more important than Rosa Parks. Everything. This is the most, being the first black president is the most important history in America currently, right now. More than our freedom rights, right? I swear to God. This is the most biggest thing, and you're telling me you regret all that, you want to say no? It's about respect. It's about you stand on the side of the president at all costs. This tells me that she's compromised. This podcast tells me she's not for it.
While I'm here really trying to own my life and intentionally practice making the choice that was right for me, and it took everything in my power to not do the thing that was right or that was perceived as right, but do the thing that was right for me.
It was right.
Mm-hmm.
That was a hard thing for me to do. I had to basically trick myself out of it. And it started with not having anything to wear. I mean, I had affirmatively, because I'm always prepared for any funeral, anything. I walk around with the right dress. I travel with clothes just in case something pops off. So I was like, if I'm not going to do this thing, I got to tell my team, I don't even want to have a dress ready.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's so easy to just say, let me do the right thing.
But then you become a shock absorber.
Yeah.
Shut up. I'm not going to play the rest of this because of the fact that Taraji P. Henson, she is a, what's that word? She just basically feeds on to what she's saying to like kind of make her feel like that's okay, instead of telling her you should sit by your man. And granted, we shouldn't be listening to Roger P. Hansen anyway. She got engaged and then she said, I don't want to get married at the last straw. And there's her own reasoning. You know what I mean? She do each his own. But basically, you're telling her that it's okay to do what you're doing. You heard what she said. I always have a set of clothes ready for any funerals, anything. For anything that might show up or pop off, I have clothes ready. I purposely told them not to have it ready for me so I can have an excuse not to go. Plus, I didn't want to go. So it's a no. And since it was a no in my brain, even the slightest, it's a no completely. See, this is the problem. Your thing was, Michelle, was you were supposed to sit by your man. You didn't have to say a word. The inauguration didn't have to say a word. Bush didn't say a word. Bush's wife didn't say a word. You know what I'm saying? None of those people said words. Bill didn't say nothing. Hillary didn't have to say nothing. They didn't say nothing. They just came in there, sat down, respected the thing, stood up when they need to stand up and sit down. That was it. That was all today. That was all it. She's making a big deal. There's 365 days in a year. And you can take 2 days out of your year to do two important things: the inauguration, the transfer of power, and Jimmy Carter's death. That's crazy, bro. When you just said you had the clothes prepped and ready. So you purposely do this out of what? Is it disrespect? Because at the end of the day, it looks like disrespect regardless. Because what she's explaining is that I just didn't want to go. So you're telling me you just didn't want to go out of 365 days a year. You couldn't go for two different events that were very important. And one was the death of a former president. You couldn't respect a former president. You know what I'm saying? That was also democratic. That's because she's feeding her own purpose. She doesn't care. And that's the problem. And we don't know who we're with until we are in our elder years. We have no clue who we're with to our elder years. This is the problem. I don't like this. I don't like how black women are basically, it's okay, pandering to other black. It's okay. We're shock absorbers. What the fuck does that mean? What is you talking about, Taraji? We're shock absorbers. Now, she needs to go into shock because what's going on is that you don't respect your man. You knew you're supposed to be on the side of your man at all times. Not even all times, just for those 2 days. 2 days out of the year, all you had to do, but you came to the the DNC in Chicago. You came to the DNC in Chicago, try to support Kamala Harris, when she's trying to kill babies and shit. But you couldn't pop out with your husband. You supported Kamala Harris in the DNC, but you couldn't pop out with your husband just to respect a former president of the United States. And not Trump, I mean Jimmy Carter. And then Trump, that's a transfer of power. That's something that needs to be done. And what's going to happen is she's setting the president that's always okay. So then if the next person comes, then it should be okay too, because Michelle did it. You're setting the president, it's okay to follow your emotions and not follow your responsibility. I'm going to end it like this. What's wrong in our community is that this is why our divorce rate is high. This is the reason why we don't get divorced. We don't even get married as much, because us as black people, we don't see our marriage and our vows as a responsibility. We see it as a choice. That's not how the Indians live. It's not how the Asians live, bro. And that's why they're so successful over us. Bro, we're weak. As Americans, we're weak compared to the Asians and Indians, bro. The Muslims, they stay together. For real. Come on now. Michelle, like, this disappoints me as a woman, as a black man. It disappoints me to look at a black woman that wouldn't just walk. All you had to do was walk in there. You could have walked in there separately. You didn't have to say a simple word. No word would have. Bro, if you would have just went in there, Michelle, in the inauguration or Jimmy Carter's death, nobody would have said nothing about you. And then it's something to giggle about. Y'all giggling because why wouldn't we think there's something wrong with your marriage? Your husband just pulled up to a death of a foreign president and an inauguration, and you didn't pop out to nothing talking about your feelings, but then you create a podcast trying to put his name. The first podcast you put out there, you put his name out there. Talking about I didn't want to become the president. He had to beg my brother for me to agree for it. Come on, get up out of here, bro. What the fuck is you saying? This is the goofy shit I'm talking about. And then us as man, we supposed to be with these women. You acting like he happy with your ass. You probably in the crib complaining about some goofy shit. You hear me, Michelle? Like he Barack probably in the house complaining about some goofy shit she talking about. Cause he just made it look good bad. He can't even go to basketball games, can't even take his wife. He looking like he's single. Going to food restaurants by himself, walks by himself. He going to basketball games by himself, inaugurations, deaths by himself. And this girl talking about, oh, this is my year. I'm 60-something years old, and now it's my year to say no. You couldn't dedicate 2 days to your husband at least to go to represent and be on his side when the whole world's watching. This is my problem. We feed into this. We think it's okay to just, I'm going to be a wife when I feel like being a wife. No, you're going to always be a wife because that's your responsibilities. I got on one knee. I asked your father for your hand in marriage. I took you and got on one knee and asked you to marry me. I brung the bread into the family. I got successful. While you sat on your ass or did not, or just raised the kids, which I gave you the privilege to do with the money I was bringing in. And all you had to do was be on my side and be my queen. I am the king. You are my queen. Let's become great. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. It's my year to know. What happens when his mother dies? No, it's my no year. I don't want to go to his mother's funeral. Michelle, get out of your feelings, because she's trying to equate temporary emotions to permanent effects. Forever, this is going to have a scar. This is forever going to have a scar in the black community, because out of all those couples there, all those former presidents there, it was disrespectful not to go to Jimmy Carter's funeral, and it was disrespectful not to go to the inauguration. We thought she was sick. It's even worse. She tells us she just didn't want to go. See, this is a spit in the face. We thought Michelle had something. We thought Michelle was sick, or her husband and her divorced on the low. We thinking of the worst. Whole time she talking about, I just didn't want to go. This is my year of saying no. I talked to my therapist and this is what we came up with. What is you talking about, bro? That don't even make sense. Represent your man. Represent the black. It's bigger than your man. You're a black woman. You're supposed to represent the community. You're the first black first lady. You represent us, bro, because not only that, you make us look bad. You make us look like this is the problem wrong with our community. The black woman don't want to be second to the black man. She wants to be first. Yes, she want to be the leader. And that's the problem with Kamala Harris. This is why you think Kamala Harris didn't win, because she wants to be the leader. She will not win. You see, the whole thing with, like, she was promoting Kamala Harris so hard, but you couldn't go to a former president's funeral, bro. It was around the same time you just popped out for the DNC in Chicago, which is around the same time as, bro. It was like a month later, not even. Like, he died damn near right after they determined who's the president. Type shit. Man, this is sickening to me. We got to do better as a community. I'm not going, if we doing bad as a community, I'm going to say it. If we doing good as a community, if we're sticking together, I'm going to say it. This is wrong. Michelle, you're wrong. You're wrong. I can't sit here and agree and say that you're right for anything that you did when what you did was really wrong. That's going to scar us forever. They're like, well, all the white women and all the white women's, what's so different between, what's his name? Everybody else served 2 years. What the fuck? All them presidents served 2 terms, and you're the only one here complaining? What is going on? And now you basically made a podcast so you can kind of spill the beans on your husband? Hush, keep shit under hooks. You just supposed to be married, do your thing. All you had to do is pop out. A happy family. This is telling us that there's a lot of shit going on in your house, and you might actually be the problem. And of course, you need therapy, get your therapy, but don't try to push this back on the man that actually had more stress done than you. Barack Obama had way more. He had to go across seas and shake hands with Japan's prime ministers, China, meeting with Russia, you type shit. You didn't have to do that. You was reading books talking about plans with food and shit. How we gonna make food healthy in high schools. That was it. You wasn't really doing nothing for real. Oh, I didn't want that responsibility. It made me sick. What did the other women say? All the other white women ain't complaining. They took their position. They know this man's a powerful man, one of the most powerful men in the world. Now she becomes second to the powerful man in the world. She becomes more powerful almost than the vice president at the time. This is sickening. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. I just wanted to explain this to y'all because I'm not going to pander like Taraji is doing right here in this clip. If y'all don't believe me, go watch the clip for yourself and tell me what y'all think. Because in the comment section, everybody's thinking that, well, her body, her choice. But your man is the first black president. If it was a white man did it, I wouldn't even trip. I'd be like, well, that's only like one of the 5 that are alive. You get what I'm saying? But this is the one of one. You're one of one. It's never been done. And you could not stand on the side of your, like, what are we doing as black men? Should we invest our time into black women? Like, you're making us feel like because now she's in her elder years. She already got 2 terms under her belt. She already got the money, already got the kids. They're grown up. Secret Service forever. Limited supply of money if you need, or money that you need to be modest with. You know what I'm saying? Now you feel what, trapped? Girl, chill out. Man, move around with that, shawty. I'm trying to tell you, move around, man. Like, if it wasn't for Obama, your ass be somewhere on O Block getting hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't the same. It's not even to say that, though, but, like, for real, like, I feel like what's happening with these older women is they're looking back on their past, like what they could have done. Like, oh, man, you wasted my youth. What do you mean I wasted your youth? I made you great. And you're unappreciative. It's time to let these women go and let them be. Let them do what they're going to do, because Michelle, she's wrong in this situation. And I've seen a trend here. She's interviewing a lot of black women, and let's just say these black women happen to be single at a very old age. I'm gonna leave y'all to that. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments section about this whole situation. Don't forget to like for the algorithm, and don't forget to comment, because it's your boy Angelo Savage. I'm coming with more commentary. It's your boy. Peace.